Welcome back to the Everyman Guys Fireside episode.
Fireside Chat Part 2.
Fireside Chat
Listen,
Part
we
2.
said we were going to bring these two guys.
Chat Part 2.
We said we were going to do these
Fireside Chat
once a
Part
month,
2.
and here we are doing it once a month. We stuck with it.
Are you a dog?
I
Last time we
wanted
did this, there
to-
was snow on the ground.
Yeah. I wanted to start this podcast
And this time I'm in shorts.
personally by saying subscribe, comment, like. Subscribing is free, so if you want to keep up with us, make sure you subscribe, and then you'll know when we post.
100%.
Appreciate it in advance.
Also, smash that bell for the Phillies
Yeah.
and for notifications from our channel.
Um,
I'm gonna scoot closer.
So
to
we
you.
have a few things.
We're good buds.
First of all, it's Tuesday, so we can't really say how is your week, but like, how are
Do
things?
you want me to start it off?
I think Ian.
Because
I think it's best.
actually hold on. I'm hearing in my ear. Ian has something he wants to say.
this
Yeah, you
week
go ahead.
I'll probably
Jake,
be off
Ian wants to
Friday,
talk.
being that it's Good Friday.
It is a good
So
friend.
it's like been in my head these
love you
last
so
few
much.
days
I
that
should do the same.
all right, all I have to work to is Thursday,
Uh,
so it's making my week take longer, and it's so annoying. Because
That's
the last
true.
couple of weeks
I'm
it's
like-
been Tuesday night, and I'm like, yo, let's go. Tomorrow's Wednesday, and then it's like we're moving
Yeah.
into the weekend, and now it's like it's still only Tuesday night.
That's true.
that makes
Jake's
sense.
been off because you're still in school.
Yeah, I'm in school, so I have off all this week, and
It's disgusting.
I
Curse.
honestly
It
just
honestly
like
is curse.
stayed, like last night I was up to 12:30 and then woke up at 12 today. Yo, it's honestly kind of nice.
You sicko.
You're the gross.
I always said I miss
Gross
the
is
good
the-
parts of school.
Yeah, I know.
Good
I want
parts.
to be in school for this
the
week.
relationships and not the work.
I want to be in school for this week.
Like,
Yeah.
if homework didn't exist, I like school.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Yeah,
Like,
I agree.
Homework, of course you do.
You probably still have it homework.
You do homework for like 5 hours every night. So just
Jake
I
has
just
homework over
like
Easter
Jim.
break.
I don't want to step on your toes, but like I kind of want to give our viewers like some guidance. In this episode, we're going to talk about stuff that we have going on, big stuff that we're really excited about that are actually happening. Like I don't want to do like where we say what we're going to do. We'll just do it and then tell them about it. So we're starting a run club. We are getting into gaming.
We have started a run club.
That's why I said we started a run
I
club.
thought you
Did
said
I?
we're starting.
You said we're starting. but
Sorry,
yeah.
sorry.
Yeah.
Listen,
I just
we're-
wanna make it
we're
clear that
getting
we
our
have
run
started
club
it.
up
Yeah.
and running.
Yes.
15 members already.
Yeah,
something
17.
like 17.
17. So
17.
Maybe
listen,
an
we
18th.
we posted a reel about it on our Instagram. We're gonna be posting on our Instagram like officially. We're gonna start posting because we haven't been.
Yeah.
Just because we kind of wanted everyone to go over to YouTube, but it's easy to post. So for the Run Club, and then also Jim, you want to take away the gaming aspect that we're gonna be doing?
Yes. Speaking of it's divided with our audience, if you are on Instagram, go follow us at the Everyman Guys. And if you're seeing our reel on Instagram, you should come follow the YouTube channel. But just saying. For the gaming, me and Ian have already played some
Very excited.
MLB.
I'm very excited.
So we posted a stream we did. We did it live stream, but we streamed it and then posted it later. And it was a big success, except for we couldn't hear Ian.
Unfortunately,
But-
a little bit of audio issues.
Yeah,
you
but
know
other
what?
than that,
Figuring it out.
yeah, we're figuring it out. And that's why I posted it anyway.
Figured it out.
So we did a part one because the audio because we had a mess up, and then part two where the whole game was perfect. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. We got to sit there and talk, and we're gonna use that as a chance
And
to
we
kind
gave
of.
them exactly what we promised. We
Yeah.
told them we have flipping good games, and
And
came
it was
down to the
beautiful game.
last
Came to the
back.
ninth inning. It was beautiful.
It was amazing.
It was a 5-4, right?
And I
5-4.
can't stop playing MLB. We already have
Same.
a whole postseason with our brothers and stuff.
I'm gonna start
It's sick.
posting shorts, YouTube shorts of the stuff I'm doing. You should record stuff and then post that too.
And you know what? Eventually, we'll get to the point where we're doing it live.
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
I think that'll be really fun. And then,
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then people
yeah,
can
that's
join
what
chats
we're
and
working
stuff.
on. So, like I said, I don't want to send out any false hope, but it's
Yeah.
all stuff that we're currently doing.
Yes.
So, yeah, like we're trying to focus more on us and like what we have going on in our lives, and we figured this was the best way to do it because it's like it's more just us doing what we're doing anyway, but
Yeah.
sharing it with you guys and trying to inspire other people to,
It's,
be creative, or in terms of the Run Club, like get out and exercise. We've
Yeah.
received so much positive feedback on
Yeah.
it, and it's awesome. It's
Yeah.
so awesome to see because there's several of us that are actually training for a marathon.
Yeah.
And
And like with the
And you
run
don't
club,
have to be training for a marathon to come
Right.
run with
and
us.
with
You
with
can
the
run
run
2
club,
miles, and
we
that's fine.
run like right now we are running like 6 miles, but if more people start joining, then we don't have to do.
Yeah,
6
we wanna
miles straight.
do-
We'll get you guys up and go until you can get to 6 miles.
100%.
And if you're afraid of that, don't be, because when you're running with all of us, you're talking and stuff the entire time, and you're not even thinking about how far you're going. So it's not like it's harder. or
The
anything.
very supportive group. That's
Yeah,
what we
it's
want.
been so awesome.
That's what we
Yeah,
want.
but
We
at
want
the
people
same
who
time,
are
they
going
don't
to
have
come.
to work up to 6 miles.
Yeah,
if they
no.
don't want to.
They
We're
wanna
gonna be
come
doing
on a
beginner
beautiful
races.
Saturday. I mean, the the reel we posted was us running in the rain.
Yeah. That's
Hopefully
about
it's-
as high energy as it's gonna get. It's
yes,
gonna be
Hopefully, it's not all rain runs.
Yeah.
Next week, I think this coming Saturday is supposed to be really
Yeah.
nice.
Finally.
So it's about coming out, having a good time, just doing runs, getting out, getting active, and a lot of smoke. If I'm being honest,
But like
my eyes
that,
are burning.
That reel in the rain, that just shows like our group's positivity. Like
Yes.
we could have just not done it or went and did it and just like not had a lot of fun. We had a like I
blast.
honestly think it was my favorite run. It might have been the toughest, but it was probably
Yeah,
my
the
favorite
crazy
run
thing
because
is
of
that
how
run
much
gonna
fun
adjust
we
the
had.
fire.
was 6 miles, but it was probably 2 times as hard as our 11-mile run
Oh yeah.
because
Yeah.
it was up hills, like obviously up and down hills, in a little like flooded area.
And also
But
it was
then
in a different place
The
than we
11
normally
miles was run during a very
It's that
light
big
mist,
thick log. As soon as
And
you
it
put
was
that
just a
on, it
nice
started smoking.
flat run.
Yeah, when we do the one trail, we usually do. It's usually a very flat trail, but we did Penny Pack
To try and evade the water.
to try and evade
That
water.
did not happen.
Thanks, Franklin.
Yeah.
So we tried to evade the water. We did not. If you want to watch our reel, go to our Instagram at the Everyman Guys.
Yeah, we were soaked from head to toe.
Yes.
So-
So we're like wearing weighted shoes and stuff.
How's running been going? Like, what have you guys been focusing on? Like, what's Cause like I say, for me, it's like it changes. And I mean, I would say it is week to week, but it's more like for me, it's more like month to month. I feel like I learn something new, and then I start focusing on it. So like right now, it's everything has been midfoot striking.
Yeah.
So it's
Well-
like midfoot strike and upright posture. So like literally every run now, those are the two things that are at the top of my list to focus on. And ever since I started doing it, I feel so much more like I feel like I can feel the improvement, and it gets easier and easier and easier every single
When
week.
I was younger, I learned that like, because I always wanted to be the fastest. So like, I learned that if you run on your toes, that's to be the fastest. So in a jog, I'm already naturally on a midfoot strike.
Yeah.
So that's just always. So I don't really feel like I need to worry about that. For me, jogging, the part that I've been working on or need to work on is mainly just discipline. Because
Right.
How so?
I can go out and run 3 miles at a 9-minute pace, 8-minute pace. I
Right.
can do it, but it's I might get home from work and then it's like, do I feel like going now? And it's like,
Yeah.
so it's like I'll just do a quick warm up and then go do my run and I'm done. Like
Right.
it's almost like it's not always enjoyable.
Yeah.
Where, like I need to to where discipline. Obviously, it doesn't sound like you're making it enjoyable, but like it's got to come to a point where it's like I'm having fun doing it rather than just like a quick warm up, run my run, and then I'm just done. Like,
But I think
Yeah.
that's important. What you said though about making it fun is that I think though the reason I think what makes running specifically fun, and I think a lot of things like there's a lot of things that you do, like especially sports. Most people that say they're not fun is because they're not good at it. And you only get good at something by having discipline. So I think you achieve that capability of having fun while you run by being disciplined at the beginning. Because it's not fun for someone when they're trying to run a mile and they're just like dying of high heart rate and they're sweating like crazy and they're like, I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this.
Yeah.
But then the person that's just like, I feel like I could go on a run, and then they go and run out 5 miles. It's fun for them. Now, obviously, there's some naturally athletic or kids that like you guys and like us that you grow up being active.
Yeah.
It's not it's not hard necessarily to run 5 miles. But for people that didn't have that or are just getting back into being active, you have to be disciplined at the beginning if you want it to eventually be fun.
Yeah, that's my
Like,
thing. Like I know I can go do it, and I do it every Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. But it's just like a matter of like I said, making it something that like I want to do and take my time and do it all the correct way rather than rushing through it and just being done and then moving on to whatever I'm doing next.
Yeah, I feel like that's something that I do. I've done a few times. With me though, I never really enjoy like my run. Like I'm never out there being like, oh, this is exactly how I want to be outside. If I'm being like, but I know the end of it. By the way, I just want a quick tangent. If I get put into a rocking chair, any chair that moves, I just realized that I'm riding a
do that all the time.
bucking bronco at like a restaurant or something, and it's so
But
frustrating.
you know what, Jim? That's what makes you Jim.
I agree. It's true.
All right.
Speaking of a bucking bronco,
Are we really about to do this? Settle down.
We put Ian and my dad on the saddle at
Yeah.
Nice.
Texas
Texas
Roadhouse
Roadhouse?
for their birthday.
But what I was saying about running is like, I feel like there are a lot of times where I'm like, I'm not like this is not fun, but I know that I'm doing it because I have to. Like everyone said, well, you don't have to. You know, but in the grand scheme of what I'm trying to do, yes, I have to. So it's like my thing is that even though it's not fun, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
So I think that's
That is discipline.
yeah.
Yeah.
my
That's
thing
like the
is,
greatest-
It's not that it's technically not fun because I enjoy some of my runs.
Right.
It's just that random day that's like I don't really feel like doing it. And like you said, for me training for a marathon, like I can tell myself that like if I just skip this day, I'll still be able to run the marathon. But at this point for me, like I'm almost not worried about completing it. I'm worried about getting a good time that I'm satisfied with, because at this point I know that if I have the discipline to continue doing the runs up until whenever we do our marathon, I know I'll be able to finish it.
Right.
But I'd rather be able to finish it
Of
at a time
course.
that I'm satisfied with.
Of course, but that's the whole thing. Like Tommy and I were just talking about today. Like it's easy for people to be in a mindset of like kind of just waiting around for something big to happen to cause this big change in their life or to that feeling of accomplishment. But it that rarely ever happens aside from winning the lottery, which I know we all know how difficult that is.
Right.
But like it's a compilation of all these little things that you do along the way that get you, like that thing that we were reading where it was like the marathon is the training leading up to it, is the 6 months of training leading up to it. The actual marathon is just like a celebration.
Right.
So for me, that really speaks it into truth too, is that it's all these little things. It's all these little acts of discipline along the way that eventually get you to, you're like, oh wow, I'm where I wanted to be. Yeah. And it's not like you did this one grandiose thing that you were like, okay, well now I'm successful and now I'm suddenly at where I am. It's like you said, like you can have the mindset of, it's like we talked about on our rainy run. Missing that rainy run isn't gonna set you back so much that it's just like, oh, we have to do it.
Yeah.
Doing that rainy run is an act of discipline to yourself, so that you're training. You're way better off being disciplined than you are being
Lazy about it.
yeah, like I mean obviously, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
being disciplined is way more important than staying on track. I mean obviously they both go hand in hand, but I'm just saying like that run didn't benefit us so much in terms of our marathon, but it benefited everyone so much in terms of discipline.
Yeah.
100%.
For me right now, like
We need to adjust this.
I was gonna say I'm dying. I don't know if anyone else is, but
you can just listen as you're fixing it. But like for me, I'm focusing on the midfoot strike right now, and honestly, it's been tough. So it makes my runs more annoying.
yeah.
But like,
The midfoot strike has been rough for me, honestly. Too.
Well, also,
Yo, let's just take a break.
It's like the small.
Jim. I so wish.
I walk here and I'm knocked the freaking roadcaster off. Oh frick!
We just have to deal with it.
Yeah, let's.
It's literally pouring directly into my face.
That's good. Because it's not even hitting me in the face right now. Ah, flip! Why did I say that?
I should have brought my sunglasses.
It would smell so
Also, yo,
disgusting.
when you guys,
It's not for me, it's like-
stuff, I can hear the cords or just like moving around, so try and keep them like still as possible.
Okay. Well,
All right, let's keep rolling. Still.
all right, Jake, you had a point. Make it.
Sorry, go ahead.
All right, so
So
I've been
warming back up. Sorry, we had to take a second. The fire was out of control with the smoke.
for me, I've been focusing on mid-foot strike, and honestly, it's been a little bit difficult because it like, I don't know, it's just a different form, and I'm not used to it. I used to go heel to toe, and it's been difficult. So it's making my runs like honestly like annoying, because it's like harder to get through, and then also like talking about discipline, like I didn't go any last week except for that Saturday run. And honestly, I could tell that the Saturday run was more difficult because I didn't go any that week. And
One
like,
thing.
speaking of saying you can miss that day, once I know I can't do that anymore because I know that it made it more difficult and I don't want it to get any more difficult. So I know I'm going to have to continue on the schedule if I want to do the marathon.
Well, like one thing with the midfoot strike is, I know it just comes naturally to me because that's how I've been running. But like I told you earlier when we ran here, like you're almost exaggerating it. Like you don't have to be like bouncing on the balls of your feet because then you're really destroying your calves when you do it. If you just run at your normal thing, but just you know what like.
Yeah, but at the
Obviously,
same
putting
time,
your midfoot down
I'm
at
trying
the
to
first,
keep
like
pace.
it comes really.
And it's like
Smooth.
for me, like it just comes to me normal if I really only did run on my toes if I was trying to like run really fast.
Yeah, which you kind of have
And
to.
it like when I'm trying to do the midfoot strike, it like makes me run faster, but at the same time I'm trying to keep like a 10-minute pace. So it's like tough to equal them both out.
Well, so go ahead, Jim.
I was just saying I've struggled with
Knock that.
doing a slower pace. I've been doing 9-minute paces both yesterday and today with the midfoot strike. So I'm trying to slow down, but it's like at one point I was just like I'm gonna slow down. I'm gonna work on slowing down, but like if I just I don't know. I feel like it's less enjoyable for me if all I'm doing is trying to pace. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to keep to where I'm remembering that I gotta keep pace slower. Like I don't know why. It just every time I go out, it's like I can't slow down.
But the
to a
thing
slower
is,
pace.
like, I understand, like that aspect, but the only reason it's important to run slow is because, like, for us, like if you're doing it for exercise, it's very different. But if you're training for a distance run,
Yeah.
you have to get your body used to running slow.
Right.
Because if you try to run the race, if you try to run the marathon, for us, if you try to run it at a 9:30 pace, you're gonna be gassed by mile 8,
Right.
maybe
Yeah.
even before then.
Yeah, I was just
And
gonna
then
say
you still
6.
got like almost 20 miles left.
Right.
So Like that's something that for me it's like so important that I go slow because like I know that come race day, like I'm not going to be able to hold a 9-minute pace the entire time.
Right.
So I'm trying to get my body used to it.
Yeah.
And like Jake, I just wanted to capitalize on you bringing up the midfoot strike. My first week of doing it was horrible. I feel like I took such a big step back.
Yeah.
I feel like I was like, like, am I really gonna commit to this? Like, it kind of felt like I was like, all right, well, I feel like I'm going backwards a little bit.
Yeah, that's honestly how I feel
But-
right now.
The thing is that I kept with it, and I've been doing it for like 3 weeks now. And every single time I go out and run, it gets better and better and easier every time. And what I noticed is if I keep my feet straight under my body and hold a perfectly upright stance with leading with my core and like my feet, it's really short, quick strides. It's just one after the next. It's almost like if you were standing up and riding a bike.
Yeah.
Like your feet, when your foot strikes, it's directly under your body. And the midfoot strike is very different than running on your toes. Like the way that it made sense to me, and I heard it in Born to Run 2. He said it's very similar to a boxer in a ring where you're like, it's just a boxer in a ring. If you were to dance around in a ring
Yeah.
while you're fighting, that's the idea of how you're running. That's how your feet are hitting the ground every time.
Yeah.
Like your heel is like kissing the ground, like barely.
Yeah.
Like when I first started, I was doing it on my toes. The ball of my foot and my heel wasn't touching the ground.
That's what I was gonna. That's
That
what I
felt
was
horrible.
trying to bring up to Jake is like, you trying to do the midfoot strike. You got to get used to it in a way that like you're not tiptoeing your whole jog, because of course, like if you're running on your tiptoes, your calves are gonna be killing.
Yeah.
The midfoot strike, your heel still can touch the ground.
Almost every
Like-
time it's touching the ground.
For
Yeah.
me, it is.
For me,
Yeah.
It for sure is.
Same.
But,
But
it's
you're
just
still landing
it's just
midfoot.
not landing on my heel. It's still midfoot, and then it's like it's not.
It's like
very
kissing the
subtle,
ground.
But yeah.
Yeah.
There are times when I feel myself going back to a heel to toe, and it feels horrible. I could tell when
Oh,
I'm
I
doing
know.
it because I feel it. Like I feel like there are times where I'm like, how am I even telling Adam? But when I can feel it in my knee, in my like
Yeah.
all up
Same.
through here, I can feel
Like the
the
back
heel to
of your
toe.
knees.
Yeah, it starts to
Same.
just hurt so bad.
Were you a natural heel toe or natural midfoot?
I felt like I was running heel to toe, but then when I started going mid strike, I was like, this doesn't feel much different than what I was doing.
But it felt better.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
as you
to
went.
me,
if
like,
you-
Yeah.
when I think
I'm the
about
same
it,
way.
I might honestly do some heel toe and
Right.
some midfoot. I don't really feel a huge difference, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Like,
I. Well,
Also,
see,
they're younger.
yeah,
you
but
know what
I'm
I mean?
saying
Like, I
if
don't
you-
know if it's the.
I think if you don't feel a big difference,
But
then
like,
it's because
at
you're
the same
barely
time, like-
doing heel toe.
at the same time, yeah, and at the same time, I'm not. Like you said, you're really focusing on it. I'm not really. So like,
yeah.
I might be doing it, and maybe I am feeling it, but just not realizing that that's what it is.
I came to it with breathing.
Oh, yeah,
Realizing
that's a
with
whole other
running
thing. Yeah.
is just that if you don't think about it that much.
Yeah, you're perfectly fine. Right?
Like, here's what the breathing thing is like. Your body breathes on its own. It adapts to breathing on its own. So like you
so
think,
simple,
and
but
when
so
you start
true.
thinking about it, is when you go, wait, how am I breathing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you calm down, realize I'm okay. Stop focusing on it. Like, because you start to mess up your natural breath by
That's
trying
what-
to
yeah.
focus
When
on
you start
breathing.
thinking about,
Completely
like, it's gotta
agree.
go in my nose.
Yeah,
out my
yep.
mouth, it's like then you're like jogging to your breath instead
Exactly.
of just like breathing while you
Like
jog.
when we first started, Will was trying to be like, well, think about it, like go left and breathe out on your left or whatever. And I was like, okay. I almost stopped running because I could not do it. I felt
Yeah.
like I was dying
Yeah.
because I couldn't breathe. And then literally it just snapped in my head. We went on that that run together, that long
Yeah.
run, that first long run we did. And we were talking the whole time. And then when I got back, I'm like, I didn't even think about my breathing
Yeah.
once. And I was like, that's the key. You just don't even think about it. And it sounds so weird, but honestly, that's how I got through it, is I don't even think about
Yeah.
it.
Dude, we went. Jim and I went on a run. Was it it wasn't a Saturday. It was during the week. It was
That
a
night?
Tuesday, right?
Yeah, Tuesday.
We went on a run at like 10 o'clock
Yeah,
on a Tuesday night.
it was beautiful.
Oh my gosh, dude.
The weather was beautiful.
That was phenomenal.
Yeah,
I
it
think
was
we did
nice.
4 miles.
Yeah, 4 miles.
That was like that's so we were talking about running and like we were asked, "Well, do you love running?" And I said, "Really, in my opinion, it's not. I don't think the actual running is what makes it awesome for us. It's like those. It's that really late run. It's the
Yeah.
Saturday run when it's pouring rain, and we're running through puddles that are up to our shins.
Uh-huh.
It's 17 people joining a run club that we're starting. It's literally like, I hate to be cliche and like that guy, but it's the community of running that makes
Yeah.
it fun.
I
It's,
agree.
it's the community.
Everyone says how hard it is running by yourself, and it's like
It is.
that speaks volumes.
But
Like,
even-
unless you love running,
Yeah,
like,
but
that's-
even with the run club, when you get back and you are able to post on Strava what you did and how you
it's
felt,
so supportive.
and then
It's
everybody
awesome.
giving you kudos or commenting or like they'll talk about it to you when you see it. Like it's so nice, and the people who have
And
reached.
Also, when you're running and you're running with everyone, you get the farther mile. Like, if I go out and run 2 miles and I'm not really that tired when I get back, I feel like why did I even run? But if
Right.
I run 5 and I'm tired and I look back and I'm like, dude, I just ran 5 miles. Like,
Right.
that's something that like I'm actually happy about.
Yeah.
Well, you know what helps? I'll just say that because you brought it up. But you know what really helps me with those short distance runs is it's literally like in my head, I'm priming myself for our distance runs. So I'm viewing it as like, of course you're not tired. You shouldn't want to be tired, because if you're tired, it means you can't handle that distance run on Saturday.
Yes.
So
I 100% agree. I'm speaking more for the people out there. In other words, for their Saturday run, you might as well push your limits.
I see what you're
There's
saying.
no point in only going halfway and then coming back to not. Like,
Yeah.
I,
You got-
I,
you
I
got-
see what you're saying.
You got to
gonna
figure out
go-
your range and then work off of that. Like on my run with my partner, who I ran with the other night, I'm like if you can keep going, why would you not keep going?
Mhm.
I'm like, if you need to
If you
stop,
haven't reached your
if
limit,
you need to stop, I'm perfectly fine with that, and we can stop. But like, if you can keep going, then you can. And they went like a whole another mile after
Yeah.
that. I'm just like,
Yeah.
like you can
Like
do
we
that.
were on that Saturday run. We were supposed to go.
ew.
Me, Ian, and Jeff were supposed to go 7, and you, Frank, and Tom were supposed to go 11. Me, Ian, and Jeff was like, why not just go 11? Like,
See how you feel.
yeah, just
Yeah.
and it was mentally challenging for me because I was so hungry,
Yeah.
and
I know. He comes up to me mid run and he's like, "Dude, this is so hard." I was like, "Really? Like you don't seem tired." He's like, "I'm not. I'm starving."
Dude.
But like I like, if that was so rewarding afterwards when I was done,
Yeah.
because like it really felt like I pushed myself to the max.
But even for that day, that day is a perfect example. Was we ran with, it was me, you guys, Frank, Tom, David,
Rose.
and Rose.
Yeah.
And it was Rose's first time doing the long run, and she only felt comfortable with 6. Well, I play hockey in the morning,
Yeah.
so I ran 6 with her and ran back.
Like
that's-
6 is a lot.
And
Like
6 is a lot, and it also like I said to Rose, it's like it's. I honestly feel better being able to support her and go back with her when she feels like she's hit her limit than, like, obviously,
That
like
goes-
I know I can
yeah.
go 11.
totally.
So like I feel like it's better to feel like to give everyone that opportunity to be like, oh, I'm gonna go my distance, my limit, and then feel comfortable that I can turn back.
yeah,
and that goes back to what I said about why we've been enjoying running.
Right.
Is you get not almost, in my opinion, you get the reason that it's fun is literally like we started out. So I'm gonna explain where this all came from, because this didn't just come out of thin air. So we were going on a walk, like just a
after
couple of us
Christmas.
friends, the day after Christmas, and Frank, we're him and I are just walking ahead, talking about the gym and whatever, and just like
Pumping iron.
randomly says like, it's crazy, like like he just for whatever reason brought up marathons and how it's crazy like to run 26 miles.
yeah.
And like it immediately I latched onto it and I'm like, well, it's something that I could see myself doing. And he's like, yeah, I feel like I could do it too. I was like, all right, so then let's do it. And he was like, actually, like, and he said, all right, well, I'll do it.
Right.
And then Jim was there too. So then we walk up to Jim. We're like, Jim, we need to tell you something. And then Jim, like, without hesitation, is like, yeah, I'll do it. Count me in. And then one of our other friends, Tommy, hops on board, like, after a little while of, like, us talking about it, because it wasn't immediate.
No.
And then he hops on board. So then it's the four of us. And then, not even that long ago on a pod, which you guys can watch if you want to, we bring it up to Ian and Jake and Jeff. And we're like, you know, you guys could do it.
Oh yeah.
Like, we feel like you could do it.
Yeah.
So then they hop on board. Next thing you know, we're starting a run club. We have 17 other people. Now, those 17 people aren't doing the marathon, but that's where this all originated.
That's
And
where it started.
from the very beginning, the whole reason that we've been able to stick to it, and it's been fun, enjoyable. It's been the main topic of conversation a lot of times. It's helped all of us immensely, physically and mentally. And now it's like, again, back to what you said, Jim, like, you get more out of making someone else that's like starting for the first time or whatever, like seeing the pure excitement of say the first time you and I ran 8 miles. Like,
Right.
you never did that before.
Never.
And then it's not like you just went out and did it. That was after like a month or so of training.
Yeah.
And then we went and did it, and you were like so hyped about it.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is awesome.
The
Yeah.
truth about it was I was walking that first month because I didn't think I could run.
Oh, yeah.
Which
you,
is
that's
wasn't
important. You
incredible.
should tell
Yeah.
them how
Like,
your
that's
first
actually
month went.
incredible.
Yeah. Well,
You should
that's
tell them how your first
well.
month went.
I tried to run my first month. The first week, I was like, all right, I had this plan, and I started, and I could barely run. I didn't even run a half a mile before I was done. Like, I couldn't run at all. So I was like, okay, well, this sucks. This is probably because I'm a bigger guy, so you know I'm probably I'm too big. I need to lose weight, and then I can start and work up to running.
Yeah.
And so I was doing that. I was trying to run as much as I could, but it still was like, I'm not. And then I ran with Will, like a month in. And he taught me about pace and being able to run. Running isn't sprinting. It's kind of, you know what I mean? Like, running isn't
Very different.
sprinting. So I started running with pace, just
Yeah.
pace running. And it's, you know what I mean? Like, it was, and now
Absolute game changer.
I'm running 3 miles without stopping, without feeling anything. I'm running 8 miles, nothing. I feel great after it. You know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
like,
Explain though what you
don't
mean by
think-
pace, though.
so
Because
pace,
some people might hear that and be like, well, what do you mean?
pace is your minutes per mile. So if you do a mile and you're running, like, my pace today was like 9:30.
Tell them how you adjusted it.
So it's a lot of like, well, I was Strava helped. Strava was a big help because you can check your pace on your run. When you hit record, you can see your pace. And so what I realized was that when I'm running with Will, I'm doing like barely 10. I think we were like at 11. We hit 12, I think, that first run. We were
Yeah,
at a
and
12
12
minute
like is a
pace.
really slow pace.
Yeah.
12-minute mile.
12-minute mile. So when we did a 12-minute mile, we were able to jog. It was basically a jog, and it was called a conversational pace. We could talk, and we didn't feel like we were like, anyway, you know what I mean? Like, we were just talking
Yeah.
like this.
Yeah.
And so we started talking about that. Like, me and Will started talking about it, and Will showed me, like, there are different levels and paces that you're supposed to go for different runs. That was how our program was working when we first started. So, like, we were doing a fast run on Monday. We were doing and then the rest of the week was like a slower pace. It was like a 10. It was like an 8 Monday, and then Tuesday and Thursday was like
Anywhere
a
from like 10 to 12,
Yeah.
honestly.
And then Saturday was like 11 to 12, I would say.
Yeah.
So that's something that helped me a lot and made me realize that size isn't what's important when you're running. It's how you run. It's not necessarily how, you know, like, it's not necessarily running. It's how you do it.
Like,
You know
I
what I mean?
think
You're not just going out there and
completely.
running
I
like
definitely agree
you're
with that.
playing a sport. You're running it's a controlled run.
Like it's more impressive. Sorry, Jake. I'll let you go. Just let me. It's more impressive
if we have time.
if we have time. It's more impressive to hold yourself accountable with pace than be like, oh, I can't help it. I just run fast all the time. Like, really, anyone can do that. They can push themselves and be like, no, I just run hard all the time. Well, that's fine. But if you're training for a distance run, you have to have discipline to run slow. Because if your only runs are fast, if you're slow, if your easy runs aren't easy enough and your hard runs aren't hard enough, then you're not going to be prepared for a marathon. Some people can fight through it, and some people can be like, no, I think I'm just going to fight through it. I'm going to do it. That's fine. But us, personally, we're looking long term. Like, we want to be able to do this again and then start working on time and then, okay, sub 4 hour marathon. So it's like, I think it's harder personally to be disciplined enough to be like, oh, I'm going to run slow and controlled, as opposed to every time I go out, I'm running a 9-minute mile.
Right.
Like, you have to be disciplined to run slow, to run controlled, to work on running form. It's actually, in my opinion, harder to run slow. It's harder on your muscles to run slow than it is to run fast.
For sure.
Yeah.
So it takes discipline to do it with the correct pace. And it's like, yeah, it's something you absolutely have to work on, and it's proven that it's worked for you.
Yeah, definitely.
What I was gonna say is,
Anyway, what else?
I think anyone
Jake.
can run, like, no matter their size.
Yeah,
It
definitely.
just depends on pace and discipline.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta put your mind to it, and you gotta run slower if you're big, and you also gotta do what you can to.
But obviously it's going to be easier if you're like 10% body fat going to the gym all the time
Yeah.
and you're really fit. But to not do it just because you think, well, I'm too big to run, or I'm not in good enough shape. Everyone starts somewhere.
Yeah.
You can go out and walk a mile. Or you can go out and walk a quarter of a mile every day, and then all of a sudden you're walking a half mile. All of a sudden you're walking 5 miles, and then all of a sudden you turn it into a light jog. And then it's a matter of starting and getting yourself going. You'd be surprised what your body can handle.
And
So that's something that we really want to do with the Run Club, is
Yeah.
that we want to, like, get people in an environment where they're motivated by everyone around them. It's nothing but positivity. It's like, hey, well, I don't know if that's for me. I don't want to hold you guys back. Like,
No,
we're gonna have designated days for those people, for
Yeah.
the people that, hey, I just want to get started.
Yeah, and it's not even, we're not even doing it as like a health thing. It's not even like a, you know what I mean? Like, it's not about like, oh, you know, for your long-term health. It's about getting out and feeling better, just being like,
Everyone needs
Everyone
exercise.
needs to exercise. Everyone needs to get out and do something. It's not a like, oh, you'll feel healthier if you do, like, you will, but like, it's, you know what I mean? Like,
It's
it's
more
not like
about-
something where it's like we're trying to push, like,
It's
promote,
just a
like,
community.
Also, it's just like getting out and being social.
being
with
active,
everyone,
being social.
instead of sitting on your couch watching TV all the time.
It's
Right.
an unbelievable amount of positivity, and everyone's on the same page. Everyone wants the best for everyone there. And if they don't, guess what? They're not going to be showing up for the next Run Club.
Right,
But
exactly.
like, that's what we're trying to do, and that's what and the only reason we're trying to do that now is because we've realized how beneficial that was for us.
For us, yes,
Like,
absolutely.
it's unbelievable how much this marathon, it's so little about the marathon now.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah.
it's literally every single day getting that text Monday morning. All right, guys, let's crush Monday, and then Tuesday morning, same thing. And it's just like everyone's on the same page. Everyone's so encouraging, and it's just like that's our goal with doing this Run
Yes.
Club, and trying to get people, like Ian said, you make a choice every day to either be lazy or be active. So we're trying to push the needle towards active as much as we can, and hopefully this pushes people to slowly move into
And,
maybe
like, right
pursuing
now,
it.
my calves are super tight. So, like, if you ever need to give someone a massage
Stop
or
it
whatever,
right
like,
now.
Ian,
I'm
no.
literally
Ian,
here.
we are moving
Ian,
on to the
stop
next
right now.
topic.
I
24/7.
will say
the beginning.
Oh yeah, we never even had an animal.
You know what?
talk.
I do ice baths. Right?
Right.
You know how like they say people that do CrossFit, all they want to do is tell you that they do CrossFit.
Yeah.
Well, they say that about people that take ice baths, but that's not true at all. Anyway,
It's the
I do ice baths.
it's the
and
truest thing.
I used to take them after my runs, and I started doing it before my run, and then naturally warming my body up by running, and then come back and take a hot shower, and I'm ready for bed. Oh, it's a game changer.
It's a
It's
fat slice of
phenomenal.
pie.
I highly recommend ice baths. They're phenomenal.
I might have to
they
get in your
feel
ice bath at some
phenomenal.
point.
I'm gonna figure it. I'm gonna see. I don't know.
But you know what? We didn't talk about animals today.
We didn't, and I have an
think
animal
so.
video.
Motivational.
Shout out to
I love
someone
this
who
podcast.
he talked to my dad. Actually,
Oh, yeah.
said how awesome our animal talk was.
Yeah, shout out to
leopard seals.
Yeah.
Leopard seals. I just have to say leopard seals. Speaking of leopards, I just saw a video on Twitter.
Oh yes,
And
I'm so in.
It's this photographer.
Bring it on. It's
X. I'm
We're
sorry.
gonna get fined.
I
you
know.
outside
All right,
too
Listen.
much
wrap
now?
it up. We can't
He probably is outside too much. He doesn't even get on his
get out.
Listen.
You
stuff on
sicko.
Twitter.
Listen. I
All
was
right, guess what
on
you're gonna say.
X. Disgusting. And I saw a post,
Right.
not a tweet, of this it's jaguar. Leopard? Jaguar?
Leopard. You said leopard, initially.
Leopard. It
Roll
says
with it.
when he realizes a photographer, and there's this guy videoing this leopard, and it's like licking his paw and everything, and it just like its eyes is kind of, and then it just kind of slowly sits up, and then it's just staring at him, and then it kind of like
Savagely
rises. I was like, oh my gosh, can you imagine?
No, I
If you're,
can't
like,
imagine.
In
Those
the woods,
people
like just
are-
watching something, and all of a sudden it realizes that.
Oh
you're there,
my
and you're like,
gosh.
Dude, there's this guy who rescued a lion when it was a cub, and then
name
he,
is-
like,
I've heard these stories.
helped it
dog.
like get back
I've
together,
heard
whatever.
these.
He went back when this lion was fully grown and had maybe the biggest mane I've ever seen on a lion. So it looks like the scariest
Of
lion
course
all
it did.
time. And the lion's like jumping up at the cage, and the dude just opens the door and walks in. The lion just comes flying at him and jumps up on him because it somehow recognizes him.
Yeah.
And now, like, the dude will, like, go out to its wild habitat and, like, hide behind a tree, and the lion will, like, come up and it'll be, like, sneaking up on him. And it's this massive lion. And, like, jump around and, like, scare the guy and jump on him and
Uh-huh.
like, just play with him and stuff. And the guy just, like, hugs it. I'm like, dude, this is a lion.
My
This
only
is a lion
My
that you're
only
playing
thing
with.
is like you like one time if that lion is hungry enough
Yeah.
or
And yeah.
doesn't recognize you because you got a haircut, God forbid.
Yeah.
And then it's just
This-
like you're
and
done.
The lion brings, like, I saw the one time, the lion had 2 other lions with him. So, like
He's like,
and this
"Hey,
guy
these are
was,
my-
like,
you know
playing
what?
with
These
the
are my
lion.
friends.
Yeah.
Dude,
You know what's funny?
this is a
It's like
lion.
when we started doing these podcasts, which is like 40 episodes ago at this point, I think.
40, more
like-
like 60.
Yeah, right. Like we used to say, like, oh, it'd be sick to have like Nick Sirianni on. Now I just want to have like a
I know.
guy, an
We should
animal-
have what's his name? Cole
Professional.
Steve Irwin's son.
yes,
He's
something Irwin.
awesome. Yeah, something Irwin.
that.
And his daughter too. His
That's
daughter
all
is
I
really
care
into
about
animals.
now is animal stories.
And the thing with I follow a guy who like has like a animal sanctuary in South Africa somewhere. And he talks about like he'll go in the same thing. Like he'll go out every morning and like be in a lion pen, and they'll just come up to him and like wrestle with him or whatever.
I might know who you're talking about.
He's like a blonde haired, like
Yeah.
shaved head.
I know exactly who
Yeah.
you're talking about.
That's
But
not
he-
who the guy is that I.
It probably is.
It might be, but he owns like a sanctuary and has all these
Shaved
animals.
head, dark, like really tan.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, that's probably exactly.
I know exactly who you're talking
That's
about.
probably exactly.
Yeah.
They'd be
who I
like, these
saw.
are the lions. No,
I know exactly who you're talking about.
so he had one of his videos was of that even when they're playing, their claws, like they're and like
I
he posts a
know.
video and like there's just blood, like he's got a big cut and there's just blood, right? He's like, this is what happens when you're playing with them and they don't realize and they just get you.
Like
He's
not
like
even,
they could not even
dude,
on purpose.
like,
It's just like
accidental.
yeah.
You could lose an eye. It's just like I mean, hey, if you love it, all the kudos in the world.
But-
man, the risk every time you get involved with that. But
I know.
man,
I know,
hey,
yes.
I would rather do
thought
that
I was-
than be a
I
close
thought
friend
that
with a great
I
white
was in
shark.
death. I thought I was facing death when there was 2 Great Danes at the top of the
Yeah.
steps
Yeah,
who were scared of me. This
Right.
guy's out with couple
That's something
lions.
that's something
Who
that
aren't scared
scares
of
me.
anything.
Or
No.
like wolves. Wolves scare me.
Yeah.
What if it
'Cause-
wasn't a pack of wolves?
If it wasn't a pack, wolves are just some of the smartest creatures on earth.
I know, but I'm just saying, like,
Jim's
is that
scared
why
of,
they're
like,
scary?
Smart creatures. I'm scared of just like raw, like
Yeah,
fierce creatures.
definitely. But like a pack, a
Jim
pack
is
of
afraid
wolves.
of losing like a game of poker.
No,
Ian's scared of dying.
Here's where I'm scared.
Exactly.
Whereas if I see a bear, like it's like, oh, that's a bear. Crap. Whereas like wolves hunt you in a very specific way. Like bears won't hunt you, wolves will. You know what I mean? It's like they'll
Wolves
they'll
will track you.
Like,
they'll
I'm
track you.
yeah,
Like
I'm more scared of the bear just coming right then and at me. You're more scared of like
Honestly,
I'd rather
be attacked.
surrounded by
I'd
these
rather be
wolves.
attacked than stalked.
yes,
Yeah.
Ah,
exactly.
that's a good point.
I agree.
Oh,
That's
wait,
what I'm saying.
So would you rather face would you rather face a pack of wolves or a grizzly bear?
Oh,
Pack
pack
or
of wolves.
grizzly.
I-
Here's
Say grizzly bear.
I'm saying grizzly.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
I'm saying grizzly.
Here's the
Make a
same,
vote for both.
not.
the same
argument
thing
for
that
both.
we talked about with the great white shark and the crocodile. It was funny to argue about. Here's the thing. They're both gonna rip you to shreds.
All right.
They're
So which one
both
would you rather
going
rip you
to
to
kill
shreds?
you. The thing that is with a bear, it's just gonna kill you right there. Whereas a wolf, you like, I'll go away to the Poconos, and then 3 weeks later, they're knocking on my door. They're like, hey, we tracked you for the Poconos.
wolves will like give you with the alligator and great white. There's -% chance have any wrestling ability against a bear. Like a wolf,
Right,
like,
Yeah, but then you have like
chance it's
eight
just running
jumping
in
on you at the
circles
same
over
time.
The
there.
wolves will
Everyone's
like give you false hope.
Yeah. And they're like, look at him run.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Like,
kill you now.
wolves hunt like wolves are crazy. Like in Jurassic Park, have you ever seen Jurassic Park where there's a scene where the guy's hunting this velociraptor and it comes out in front of him, and then there's two coming from the sides. They trick him to where he only focuses on the one, and then the other two. That's based on wolves. Wolves do that. They'll distract the enemy by going in front of it and letting them see them. They'll get all. They say it's a hunter, it's a bear, and then the pack comes in from the side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have strategic hunting grounds where they'll force prey into an area where they know they have the it's like that scares the crap out of me.
The part that's scary is how they can communicate
Right.
without the hunter even knowing.
Exactly, and it's
I know.
Exactly.
Dude. Okay,
It's
so
so weird.
I saw an amazing video today. It's
gosh.
like awesome. It's not like scary or anything. So it's like a really encouraging story actually. So this hunter was at like a lake and he saw a bald eagle all the way across the lake, and he's like he's a Christian, and he's saying he said he was in the middle of praying and saying
I literally saw this exact.
saying
But I thought I saw it the other time.
that God, I don't feel as though you hear me. He said, if you hear me, allow me to get a closer look at this eagle.
Yes, I saw this like a couple weeks ago.
And he's
It's crazy.
videoing his face, and he turns the camera, and the eagle's on his shoulder.
No.
I promise you, it was across the lake, and he said,
The
"If you hear
eagle-
me, let me have a closer look at this eagle." Thinking that it would just like
Fly
God would
across.
help it to fly across. He turns the camera, and it's sitting.
And
here.
let me just say,
on
this
his
is
shoulder.
not a man that has control of this eagle, and he has
No.
an arm, a leather arm, leather hand strap with the arm sleeve and
He
everything.
does not have any of that.
He's a hunter in all orange and is like literally like no equipment or anything.
Right.
And this eagle is just crawling across his shoulders like an enormous eagle.
Yeah, it's huge.
I'm like,
Eagles
like-
are giant.
like
Not
people
giant,
like
but huge.
you
Bird.
can't even comprehend how strong of a message that is.
Yeah.
definitely.
And like eagles do not just do that.
No, it might have thought he was a ram,
With
but
the eagle?
Huh?
Remember our encounter with the eagle up at camping?
Oh,
You should
no,
put-
we should
look.
oh,
you
yeah.
should put
I know.
pictures of the eagle.
So
Oh,
Will's,
yeah.
Will's taking pictures, and I was just with him, and we're underneath a tree with an eagle above us, and he's like, "Oh, I wish it would. I want to get a better picture because he's already getting good ones." So I start throwing rocks into the water. I'm like, "This eagle's not this stupid to like think that it's a fish, but
Right.
whatever." And then I threw a couple more, and it like literally like it was staring into our soul.
Like staring, into the depth of our core. And it was, I would say, 20 feet away.
Yeah, it was not far.
Straight up.
And it was like almost a little bit scary.
But you skipped the most intense part of that story. That the reason I couldn't take pictures.
Who was the savior of the day?
Jake was. Because the
was.
reason I couldn't
ran
take pictures.
back to get that
not
SD
only
card.
that- yes. So I have my camera. But good old Will, ask Jim, he knows. How many times have I forgot my SD card?
All the time.
Okay, so I'm ready to take a picture. I take a few, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I go to look at it, and it says no SD card found. So Jake's there, the absolute beast that he is,
Yeah.
runs all the way back to the campsite with my SD card, comes back, and I'm like shooting away. And it was like, that was like the most amazing encounter
it was
maybe have
kinda
had with an
scary.
animal.
Because when it's like scary, because it's like,
Yeah.
what is it? So I threw one more. We were about to give up almost. Because you had got your
let
shots
me
and then I'm like,
clarify what he's talking about. He was trying to throw a
Rocks.
rock into the lake so that the eagle would dive down and think it
thinking
was
that
a fish.
And it would have dove like literally right in front of us.
Yeah.
So that you could get a really sick picture. And then we're like, all right, well, I already threw like 15 rocks. The eagle's not stupid. And I'm like, all right, I'll throw a couple more. And I threw one. And dude, it just came swooping down like right in front of us.
Yes.
Into the water.
And I missed it because I had like a 600 millimeter lens on it, but
Yeah,
it was
it
still
was so
amazing.
fast, but
Yeah.
it
It was
really close.
unbelievable.
It was
That's
Like,
awesome.
crazy.
But we've seen eagles there a lot, but
Yeah.
never like that. Like
Yeah.
literally right above us, and that was
In
just
the tree that we're standing against.
probably the best experience I've had with a wild.
I've seen the pictures. It's amazing.
But
Um,
are we wrapping it up?
we can.
Are we wrapping up this fireside chat,
Yeah.
boys?
This fireside chat was brought to you by the Everman guys.
Maybe Strava in the future.
Maybe
that'll
Strava
be
in
our
the
first
future.
sponsor.
Maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Listen, we're gonna be talking about you a lot, so
We've had a
Talking
lot of
about
first
Strava.
sponsors that weren't yet
Um,
first sponsors.
Yeah.
I want to
We're
just
still waiting
I
on
want to
Jeff
start
Bezos to get
shouting
back
out
to us.
Jeff for controlling everything.
Jeff
Yeah,
is
shout
the
out to
G of.
He's our guy.
He's the guy. He's the guy.
Yeah.
Thank you,
So,
Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
And thanks you guys for watching because you know what?
guys.
You're a big motivation for us to keep doing these things. We have a
Yes.
blast when we do them.
Uh-huh.
And then the last thing I want to say is because it's a fireside chat, we're gonna get
It's
chill.
true.
And thank you for watching the Everman guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Clap. Clap. Clap.
Cool.